Bethany Manctalo here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2023-24 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talking's, our Millwall fan show. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart and Ted Robertson.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Welcome team and listeners. Well, Neil Harris's second reign as Millwall head coach, well this time head coach, last time manager, well and truly underway. Another 3 games under his belt, and it's 2 wins and an away draw. Pat, you haven't been on the show since Harris was reappointed. I'm interested to hear your take on it all.
Well, I always thought he would come back. I don't think his time at Millwall was done when he last left. But I thought we'd be relegated before he was asked back. So even I was surprised when Berylson asked him back to help out. I think it's great to have him back, and I think we need to give him all our support. I think Harris, his style, aggressive, direct, passionate. He's obviously a great motivational speaker because we can see that in the way the players are playing. I honestly thought it would be an end-of-season contract. They've obviously given him 18 months. Perhaps they're looking in case we do go down. He's already in position to try and bring us back up again. I just think it's been brilliant. Obviously, the football's not been pretty, but it's been great to watch. Saturday mornings are exciting now because you've got that feeling that you could beat anyone, even if it's a nasty game. You can just beat anyone. If there's anyone who can keep us up, it's Neil Harris. He's got my backing fully, and I hope everyone else is backing him.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Pat. The Watford game was the first game where I woke up and I was like, come on then, let's have this. Like, we're up for this.
Exactly.
For weeks on end, it's like, oh God, back to the den today.
Yeah. You just feel like, you get to the point where you think, shall I go? Shall I not go? Yeah. And you do go. And I never missed a game at home during all of Rowett's and Edward's time, but I never had that feeling that we could win this.
Yeah. Dave, only 6 points separate 12th place and 26th place, meaning that, mathematically there's a chance that 11, 12, maybe 13 teams who could still be relegated from the league. The Championship is literally the most dramatic league in the world, isn't it, mate?
Oh, definitely. It's not one for the old ticker, that's for sure, as a fan. But, I mean, my take on it is that this season is going to go right to the wire, and you'll probably see a team or maybe even 2 teams be relegated with probably the highest points tally that you've seen in the division.
Ted, how do you see the rest of the season panning out?
Oh look, I mean, the one thing you can see from these 3 games, and I agree with Pat about Neil Harris with his passion and whatever. I mean, let's face it, what any fan wants to know and feel is that your manager feels exactly the same about your football club as you do. He's got a genuine feeling for the club. I too, like Pat, thought he would come back someday, a little bit sooner than I thought. But at the end of the day, when I analysed what we needed, he was the right man. He's got everything that we need. But for the rest of the season, you can see what Neil's already done. He's made us difficult to beat. He's gone and picked a team that has players that I call like 7 out of 10 players every game. They give you a game. They give you everything out there. The George Honeymans in this world, the George Savills in this world, Billy Mitchell, they'll run until they go into the ground. We've become a difficult side to play against, a difficult side to beat, because even the other night at the end of the day, we didn't get beaten. We would have had all 3 points if it wasn't for the fact that we made one mistake. And that gifted them a goal, because apart from that, I don't really remember Sarkic having to make any sort of save that you thought, oh, that was brilliant. He had to, it could have been a goal there or whatever, because they huffed and puffed a bit, Blackburn, but never really looked like scoring. In fact, if you look at Zion Fleming hitting the post, as well, we probably had the better chances. But I think it's going to be that to the end of the season, Miles. You'll see a Millwall side that goes out, that stops the opposition from playing, that makes it awkward for the opposition, makes it uncomfortable for the opposition. There ain't going to be anybody that's going to want to be playing us. They'll all look at that fixture and think, "Oh, Christ, it's Millwall. It's going to be difficult." And that's credit to Neil Harris. What we do need is Obafemi to start firing like he did the other night, because with Bradshaw and Nisbet out, it does leave us a bit thin on the ground. But, I'm sure Neil has ideas up his sleeve that may, have to use if anything happens there. But listen, it is wonderful, like you said, to go down to Millwall now knowing that team that goes out on the pitch will give 110%, and if they lose, it won't be for the want of trying.
Yeah, I saw a video this week, and it was him jumping up and down on the sideline, giving out instructions, and I was like, God, we ain't seen that in a while. Like, jumping up and down, yeah.
Well, he's got all the boys have got an extra spring in their step. If you think, and it's not that long ago, to that Sheffield Wednesday performance, it was like they was all running around with lead in their boots. You know what I mean? Since then, the 3 games that they've played after that, none of them out there have stopped running. They've all given everything that they can. The back four has been immense. Got a special mention for the likes of Danny Mack playing out of position on the left-hand side, but he's been defensively brilliant. And that's why it was so gutting the other night for that silly pass that he done. But Jake Cooper is playing like Jake Cooper used to. Taganga, I think, has been, he was certainly my man in the match at Southampton, but he seems to have brought a solidness to it. And Ryan Laird goes without saying, doesn't it? He always gives you, like I say, a 7 out of 10 game, if not an 8 out of 10. So he's done his job so far, Neil Harris, and I know this for a fact in my mind. He will do his job like that for the rest of the games of this season, which gives us a very good chance of staying up, in my opinion.
Well, thanks, guys. We'll take a break there and hear about our sponsors, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julians here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 365 026. G&M Motors have been dear friends of the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Noel Access talking team of Pat, Dave and Ted. Many thanks to our sponsors, G&M Motors. Why not go along, check the Hondas out and see what else they have on site at Gravesend. Before we hear from our first guest, Debbie Julians pays tribute to John Berylson and the posthumous award from the London FA.
The Power of Football, London Football Awards. John Berylson posthumously won the award last week, presented at the Roundhouse in Camden, with James Berylson and Steve Kavanagh accepting the award. The London Awards celebrates the best of London football. Since 2006, John has showed his massive love, support for the fans, players and the club. The club back then wasn't financially in a good place. He paid for the Christmas wages without confirmation of his ownership. Our Jeff Burnage made that call to John. John also made funds available to the community trust during the course of the pandemic. He adored Millwall, loved us, protected us through good times and bad times. He wished he had invented the song "No One Likes Us, We Don't Care." He said it echoed out in America too. He loved the edginess of Millwall. That's Millwall's personality, he said. It wouldn't be Millwall without the edginess. He was Mr. Millwall, the father of the family, the Millwall family. His dedication was not just for the club, also for the community and surrounding areas of South London and beyond. He backed the Millwall Community Trust with Sean Daly. The Millwall Community Trust work is the envy of most clubs and at the forefront in the community to help change and give a world of opportunity, showing the power of what Millwall is, a great family club. We, in return, loved, respected him and adored him. The impact that he made to Millwall has been immense. Every club would cherish the thought of having John Berylson as their chairman. He treated the fans, the community, the players with respect and love and ensured that we have the right people within Millwall. He put his stamp of unity on us. He always did that extra step, mixing in with the fans, caring for both players and the fans. He reached out to all. He genuinely cared. He won't ever be forgotten at the Den. As James said, his father was obsessed with Millwall. I know that feeling. He had a connecting bond, one of the most important things in his life. As James now carries that torch, I likewise and many of us keeping the love of their father's legacy alive. James backs us with belief and hope too, going forward with Neil Harris and the Millwall team, not afraid of risk. It is very special that John and Millwall have been recognised by other clubs and beyond. So whilst you're up there talking Millwall football with my dad and the other Lionhearts, we will sing so you always hear us. John Lionheart, thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. Great words about a special man and his family. Our first guest is a part of the Millwall family. In fact, he is the lead member. Back in 2019, our then manager, Neil Harris, said, "They are a huge inspiration not just to anyone associated with Millwall, but to everyone in our society in general. The work they have put in on the back of an unimaginable personal tragedy is nothing short of remarkable, and we can only thank them for their continued efforts. The fact they are speaking in schools and events across the country, and not just in the local area, says a lot about just how powerful their story and message is, what Barry and Margaret do, and the For Jimmy organisation as a whole. For our young people should not be underestimated. Please give a warm welcome to one part of that dynamic duo, Barry Mizen."
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, Barry.
Hiya, how are you doing?
Good evening, Barry.
Good evening all. Lovely to be with you again. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
Barry, before I hand you over to the panel, last Saturday, Sean Daly of our Millwall Community Trust spoke about knife crime in Southwark and Lewisham when in the Executive Lounge on our Community Day, and the work of the Trust in meeting some of the underlying causes of the problem, which was received with applause from those present. Your speech at the Pope's Vigil in Hyde Park in 2010 was categorised by the words confrontation and anger and dealing with those issues. It was just amazing, and does it still ring as true today as it did then?
Probably more so. I think there's troubled times all around at the moment, but if we just focus on this area, the violence on our streets, it's not going anywhere. It's going up. A couple of years ago was a record year for teenagers losing their lives to the actions of other teenagers in London. But again, it's not just London, it's going on around the country. there is so much anger, and it's just coming out in absolutely horrendous ways, and leaving a lot of destruction in its wake. But that's what drives us. We won't give up doing what we're doing. Yes, indeed, we do travel around in Liverpool next week. I was actually in Birmingham last week, speaking in schools, speaking to Jimmy, just for our message of forgiveness, peace and hope, just to try and bring some change.
Lovely words. Hi, Barry. It's Pat here.
Hi, Pat.
Hello. So we got Jimmy's Day at the Den on Saturday when we face Birmingham. Apart from us meeting up and giving you a £500 cheque from the Millwall Supporters Programme, can you share with the I got that bit in. Can you share with the listeners what will be happening?
Okay, it's been running out for a few years. We're eternally grateful for everybody for doing this for us. It's already begun, if you like, at the Lion Centre. There was this Jimmy Mizen competition, local primary schools. There's about half a dozen, I think it was. Fantastic football, lovely atmosphere, kids having a great deal of fun. So we got some winners from that competition, but each of the children that took part today is invited to the Den on Saturday along with an adult. We'll then present the winner's trophy on the pitch at half time. Doing this today, I've pre-recorded for the Lions as well. But the day itself, myself and Margaret will get down nice and early, about 11:30. We'll go into Harvey's Cafe. Pat, we'll be meeting you. And also we're going to be talking about Terry in a little while, and all the wonderful people that have been helping us for the last many years, been doing this bucket collection and whatever, just putting out a good positive message. Before the game kicks off, I have the opportunity to come on the pitch again and just thank everybody. I find that very nervy, but it's such an honour to be able to speak to the Millwall crowd. So yes, it's nervy, but I am so honoured to be able to do that. And there's always a wonderful response. But I'll be thanking the visitors as well. I'll be thanking Birmingham. Their players will be wearing warm-up Jimmy Mizen T-shirts along with our players. So they're supporting it as well. So it'll be a great day, lovely atmosphere, and really looking forward to it.
Brilliant.
Evening, Barry. It's Dave here.
Hi, Dave.
Always nice to talk to you, mate.
Pleasure.
We speak about the Mizen Cup, which is something that happens annually. Can you tell us a bit more about what happened and the people that were involved, who they were?
Yes, it's primary schools invited. This is all done by the Community Trust. So Sean Daly, his crew, Emily today was the one actually organising the day itself. But there's a lot of matches, little knockout matches, and then you end up with a final. Some fantastic football. I get amazed that some of these youngsters, as young as they are, the enthusiasm they have, but also the skill they have, and it's enjoyable to watch. There's no defensive thing; they're just hammering songs at it, and that went on for a couple of hours. And so then the opportunity to present them all with a little medal, free ticket for the game on Saturday, along with an adult. But the trophy itself, the school that won it is called Childrick, but the trophy itself, we'll present it to them on the pitch at half time on Saturday, which would be great.
Yeah, we look forward to that.
That's absolutely brilliant, Barry. Hi, Barry, it's Ted here, mate.
Hello, Ted. Right, mate.
We know Millwall fan Terry Reese gets involved with his Facebook site and on a day. As I remember, he ran a fundraiser at the Will Shunters, where our very own Jeff Burnage made a very visible appearance, I believe.
Yeah.
Terry's a great advocate for what you do. How did his involvement come about?
Do you know what? I've got so much respect for Terry. He's got a fantastic heart. He always, he'll get cringe at all this praise. I know that, but he is one top man. Terry dropped something off at the office. We had a little shop office many years ago now. We just started, and he dropped something over from Millwall fans, and then he just dropped it and then left, and he was walking down the road. I thought, I've got to go and speak to the guy. Run after him, started talking to Terry, and a fantastic relationship has then developed with Terry and his wife Caroline, his daughters, but all the other people in this little group that Terry manages, I suppose, is the way to put it. But this to me, mate, this is Millwall. This is what this club's all about. that family response, that looking out for each other, that sort of thing. And Terry epitomises that. A similar sort of generation as well. So Terry's going on a bit same as me. But it's just lovely. But I've got so much time for him. On Saturday, he'll have been arranging his team with the bucket collections, that sort of stuff. We do the walk each year for the 21 Bridge Walking for Jimmy as a fundraiser. Terry and Caroline have been manning, volunteering on one of the stations along the way, or one of the little stopovers. So, Terry, bless your heart, mate. So appreciate what you do.
And Terry, you shouldn't be cringing, mate. You deserve all of that. You deserve all of that.
He doesn't take praise. He hides away from it. So he's going to have to accept it now. He's got no choice. You're doing a great job, Terry. Bless you.
Right, Barry, it's Pat again. So Margaret and you both visited schools around the country to bring your message to young people. Are you just still as involved now as you were at the beginning of your journey?
It's grown so much. We thought each year it's just going to get less and less, but it seems to be getting more and more. Let's say last week was in Birmingham, we was in Northampton, we was out in Essex. Next week we'll drive up to Liverpool, we're out there for a couple of days. We get requests coming in all the time. And it's mainly young groups, but we do adult groups. In the past, we've done prison visits. We just share a story, but with that message. We're looking for solutions through all this violence we're seeing. And most people's response tends to be, we'll just lock them up, throw away the key, that sort of stuff. And I really don't think that works. I don't think we're talking to people thinking rationally and logically, anything at all like that. So just trying to understand what's going on, looking for solutions. But for us, I think these are messages of encouragement and affirmation for the vast majority of our young kids. So we get more and more requests. We feel humbled to go to these places, and we meet some fantastic young people and adults. And we'll keep doing it all the time. We've got the energy.
Hello, Barry. It's Dave again.
Hi, Dave.
Walking for Jimmy is with us again soon, as you've just mentioned. In May, I think.
25th.
How might Millwall fans and other listeners help in making this, the 11th year, the best response it could be?
Well, anyone that's listening, have a look at it. Go on the website, mizenfoundation.org. Look on the website, Walking for Jimmy. It's the 21 Bridges of London, starting at Richmond Rugby Club. Then you walk over 21 Bridges, finishing in a little pub just down behind Tower Bridge. Anybody that wants to go on it, they can sign up, do sponsoring, or just sign up, whatever they want to do. It's a wonderful atmosphere. Always at Millwall supporters helping arrange it as well. And there is a fantastic group of Millwall supporters at the end who sort of cheer everybody coming in. I'll do a little bit of walk myself, hopefully this year. Last year I had to do a bit of the driving. So if anyone is going to do it, sees me on the way, please come and say hello. But yeah, so that's it. So go on the website, Walking for Jimmy. It's 25th of May. So the registration thing is now open. And it's all runs very, very well as well. And it can be a really lovely day. The weather it tends to be decent as well. I've been told, and I've never done the whole thing, I've been told it's harder than a marathon. It's about 24 miles. But, for a challenge for everybody. What a wonderful thing to be able to do, to say that I've walked all those bridges. So any help will be appreciated. Thanks.
Yeah, we have to condone everyone that takes part in that. And I know it's very well supported, but let's see if we can get it a bit bigger this year.
Be great. Thank you.
You do surprise me, Barry, that there's a Millwall welcome waiting for you when you get to the pub. That really surprised me. But I can imagine what it's like. I imagine how you feel when you get to the end of it, and it must be a relief getting to that pub.
I think so.
It's Millwall fan time now, Barry. How do you rate our chances this season of staying in this championship? My expectations have gone up quite a bit since Neil's come back, but what do you reckon, mate?
Well, I think my expectations have gone up quite a bit as well. I mean, there's just so many there. 2 points between, 8 teams at 1 point. It's ridiculously tight in that division. In the past we've been there. We've had relegation battles, and sometimes it's the most memorable of games. It's such a great season where you've struggled all season. Suddenly you come good. So I am feeling very, very optimistic. And just for the record, now I might be wrong, but I don't think so. But just for the record, we have never lost on a Jimmy day. There's been draws for sure, but there's never been a defeat. And there's no reason to start this Saturday. So there's a good omen. But I think, Neil, the passion that the guy brings, it's obvious. You just got to look around. So come on, mate. It's a big battle. I feel confident that we will make that. Saturday is a huge game, as we can all appreciate. But I feel confident. I think that spirit there, the way the fans can get behind the team, that makes such a difference. So hopefully there's a huge sellout crowd on Saturday. But I think, with that, the Millwall fans behind them, I think we've got a great chance of staying up. And this is not burying my head in the sand. I think we are generally in a good position to stay up and then worry about things next season.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Fantastic, Barry. Just before you go, Birmingham, as we've obviously just talked about on Saturday, what's your prediction for the game?
Okay, well, I don't want to go too wild, but I think, let's give them a goal start, shall we? Let's go 2-1. They can have their goal. We'll come back.
But I think just. I can't take it.
There's plenty of defibrillators down the.
Takes his own.
Yeah, a portable one on your back could be lovely then. But, no, listen, I reckon the odd goal, it's not going to be big. I think the odd goal, and that's so hard as it gets towards the end of a match. You've got one goal and you're sweating and all the rest of it. But hey, we're all supporters. We've been there before. We'll do it again.
Yeah,
the Millwall Football Club will do it the hard way. Barry, brilliant to have you on this week and to hear all about what you and Margaret will do and continue to do, and of course what to expect for Jimmy's Day at the Den on Saturday. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you and Margaret and everyone has a great Jimmy's Day.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks so much indeed for inviting me to come on to this. Absolutely wonderful. Pleasure to share with you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Thank you.
Barry. Cheers.
Cheers, Barry.
Bye-bye now.
Before we head to a break, let's hear another tale from Phil Coleman's boot room.
Hello again, Phil Coleman here. Hope you enjoyed the last version of Tales from the Boot Room. Here's another short episode and a few more stories. I'm going back to 1975-76, where as a young schoolboy I had the privilege to be around the club and be coached by our legend Billy Neal. Billy would pick me up on Saturday mornings in Catford in that old Volkswagen Dormobile and drive into the old Den, where we pick up other players that live near the Den, like Dave Memmott. We'd pick up the youth team kit and the boots and then head off to Langley Park near Beckenham, where our youth team played their games in what was the old South East Counties League. What a league that was. We played against some top clubs. All the top clubs were in the South East Counties League: Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, West Ham, Charlton. And they turned out some top young players. I remember playing against the likes of Mark Falco at Tottenham, Clive Allen at QPR, Ray Wilkins, and one of the toughest players I played against, Paul Walsh, when he was at Charlton. Around that time, we had some young players in the youth team, 2 or 3 years older than me. George Borg, Stevie Hamburger, Glenn Morris and Dave Roberts. Good young players, but I don't think any of them signed pro. But despite getting a bus and a lift to the youth team games and Billy picking me up, he always ensured our schoolboys got some expenses, and that helped during the week. He also made sure we came on as sub and got a good few games across the season, even though we were only schoolboys. At 16 years old, and I was still at school, I was also playing in the old midweek league. That was the reserve league back then. Top clubs played in that league. I remember playing against Chelsea reserves. And I remember playing against Teddy Maybank. What a handful he was as a young player at Chelsea. Those reserve teams had a mix of senior pros, youngsters, a few trialists, but there was no holding back in those games. If you compare the midweek league to the under-21s, my life, it was brutal. They didn't hold back because those senior pros wanted to get back in the first team and the youngsters wanted to prove themselves, and it was a real tough baptism of fire to senior football. There's one story, my second spell at Millwall, I captained the reserves in a game at Southampton. Must have been in the first week or two of the 86-87 season. I looked at the team sheet and there was one Joe Jordan playing up front for Southampton. As captain, I thought, well, I'll appoint Dave Thompson, my 17-year-old centre-back, to mark him. So, Tomo, you mark Joe Jordan and I'll take the little quick lad. I knew full well what was going to happen, and sure enough, first goal kick, Joe puts his elbow straight into Tomo's face. Tomo got up covered in blood. All I shouted was, "Keep going, Tomo, you'll be all right." To be fair to Tomo, he gave Joe back plenty, and he went on to be a top young player. I saw Tomo a few years ago, and I apologised to him for stitching him up a bit on that day. It was great as a fan after youth games to go back to the den and watch the first team, and to be around some of those absolutely great characters. I remember Lil, the tea lady, Pauline, who washed all the kit in the laundry next to the tunnel, Jack Blackman, who did absolutely everything, was such a great bloke. Unless you needed a new pair of boots, then it was like pulling teeth out. Back in them days, if you were a youngster, you got a pair of green flash trainers to wear. But if you signed pro, you got Adidas Sambas. And everybody wanted the Adidas Sambas, so that alone was an incentive to train hard and try and sign pro. There are other people around the ground. I remember Pauline McGrath in the commercial side. Secretaries were Gordon Borland and Graham Hortop, and directors like Len Eppel, Reg Burr, my favourite Bill Whelan. He always popped into the change rooms to say hello. At the end of a first team game, us schoolboys were expected to help out with the chores, picking up the kit, putting boots away, sweeping the change rooms, other bits and pieces, all part of the process of trying to get that apprenticeship when you left school. And being in and around the change rooms after games with those top pros like Kitch was another great experience. But I remember as well, back in them days, we were training at Crofton Park in the evenings. We had Peak Freens, Langley Park for the games, but we also used to train during the school holidays in Deptford Park, Southwark Park, and even Senegal Fields. Can you imagine some of the top youth academies and pro clubs training all over the place back in them days? But they were bloody happy and memorable times. See you soon for the next Tales of the Boot Room.
Brilliant stuff, Phil. Let's take a break there and listen to Ellie talking to Eamon about Harvey's Den Cafe.
Hi Ellie, lovely to see you here up in Harvey's Den again. And of course you've taken over from the Brown family. Cafe that they have here is just wonderful. Millwall shirts on the chairs, blue and white tablecloths, blue chairs, and all you guys in Millwall kit.
Of course.
Tell me, what goes on? When are you here? What can we expect?
We're here Monday to Friday from 10:30 till 5 every day, open to the public. Everyone's welcome. We're open every match day from 11:30 till 2:30. We've got a new family, a new little CAF team, and the girls up here are all lovely and friendly.
So who are the girls that are up here?
We've got myself, Ellie, of course, and then we've got Nicole, who works during the week. We've got Michelle, who also works during the week. She's lovely. And Lena, who works on a match day. And my mum, Ellen, who's very well known.
Very well known.
She also helps out in here from time to time. So we've got a lovely little family team.
To look after the community. Exactly. Wonderful stuff. So what's on offer at the cafe these days?
We've got everything from chicken burgers to paninis to full breakfasts, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, soft drinks, snacks, everything you could need.
So it's all here, all available, a great team to serve it up to you. Well, what else can I say but carry on in Harvey's style here at Harvey's Den Cafe, and all the best to you, Ellie, and your team, and I look forward to coming up and enjoying some of the fare in not the far distant future. Well, in fact, I've already done that. The coffee is just superb. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Eamon.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me are the Noah Lights' talking team of Pat, Dave and Ted. Why not head to Harvey's Den Cafe in the Lion Centre and grab a bite to eat before the game on Saturday? Let's hear from Ellis Barr now. Keep us updated, Ellis.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos, so you will all know that I don't wear splints as much anymore. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Come on, Millwall, indeed. Paul Loding gives an overview of the Millwall Romans and Pride involvement in Community Day.
Hi, it's Paul Loding at the Millwall Romans, with just a quick update from myself from this week. Last Saturday, we attended the Community Day from the Millwall Community Trust. It was a really, really good day. Luckily, the rain fended itself off, and it was a nice sunny day. It was a really, really good afternoon. Loads of people there to raise money for the Community Day. Managed to speak to a couple of fans outside, and a couple have actually heard of us from the Romans perspective. Had a good chat with a few people, and yeah, luckily enough, the 3 points came on as well. Well needed 3 points. Well done to the Neil Harris and the team there. Not gonna lie, it was a bit nerve wracking, I think, in the second half, just in case it did go wrong. But another goal would have made it feel a bit better. But yeah, he's obviously getting a couple of results there, and good luck to him.
Dave, how's Community Day for you?
Oh, Community Day is a day that we should all look forward to every season, because you go to the ground, and it's like bumping into old family. You know, walking around in the car park. There's so many your friends and people you haven't seen for years, all going around looking at what is actually going on for the youth of today, who you want to encourage to be a Millwall fan. So Sean and his team, they do an absolutely marvellous job, and making us aware of what they actually do for our community, which is so heartening to see.
Rob Barr of Millwall Romans gives reaction to their game at the weekend and a prediction for Saturday. And Tom Ward, vice-captain of the Millwall Pride, brings us up to date with their situation.
So Millwall Romans had a busy weekend, and Pride also had a busy weekend. Firstly, the Millwall Community Day last Saturday, and on the pitch, the LGBT plus friendly teams under the Millwall banner were both in action. Eamon caught up with both of the teams for us.
Maritime Radio Sport.
I'm here with Rob Barr of Millwall Romans. Rob, tell us what happened with the Romans this weekend.
We played Stoke FC, who are currently top of the LUL League, having not been beaten all season. Ourselves went into the game on a really good run, having won our last 5 in League and Cup without conceding a goal. This weekend we had a couple of absentees due to people being injured and away for various reasons. The game itself was an incredible game that couldn't have gone any better. We actually won the game 30-1, playing some incredible football, some of the best football we've played since I've been at the club. We had a debutant who scored a first half hat-trick, had an incredible game. We had 2 subs come on in the second half who also scored hat-tricks. And yeah, just the football we played was really, really good. Game couldn't have gone any better. We have some really big games coming up now. We play Gravesend Cup semi-final against Charlton in a few weeks' time. We also have a quarter-final of the Domestic Cup. We have a really good chance now at winning the league. After a really slow start to the season, we're on an incredible run of form. And yeah, things couldn't really be going any better at the moment.
Millwall played Birmingham on Saturday, having had back-to-back wins since Neil Harris has been back at the club, and they seem to have turned a corner. So I'm going to go for a Millwall home win this week and for 3-1.
Great result. Thanks, Rob. I've got Tom Ward, who is the vice-captain at Millwall Pride. Who did you face this weekend?
London Freedom. They're a great outfit who we share a friendly rivalry with, and they're having a stellar season, having gone unbeaten so far. We really wanted to be the first to nick some points off them. We've actually also made great steps at Pride. We're currently 3rd in the league. We managed to keep most of our core players over 2 seasons, and we also had some fantastic new additions. They've been training with us a lot, and they've led to an energetic and dynamic attacking style. It's bagged us 25 goals in 8 games. We'd have to be more compact and disciplined than usual on Sunday. So our resident pep, Andy Dolan, came up with a game plan that surprised Freedom in the first half, which led to an edge in possession and several half chances. Freedom are physical and organised. A lot of the game was dictated by 50-50s and the desire to be first to the ball. So I was really proud of how our team rose to the occasion and matched them in that regard. We're typically a more technical passing team, so it's great to see us get stuck in. Big shout out to Lee, Ollie and Diogo, who showed real grit in midfield, and also to Alec and Ben in centre-back, who both had outstanding games, as well as new signing Tom in goal between the sticks. It was kind of the game that unfortunately was likely to turn on one moment, and Freedom got that moment, scoring deep in the second half with their midfield picking up a hurried clearance for a clean through ball to their striker, who dotted it home pretty tidily. We pinned them in their own half for the rest of the game, which led to an equaliser from a second ball off the keeper, which sadly was disallowed. Probably deserved at least 1 point, but performance-wise, it was one of our best this season against tough opposition. I'm proud of the team sticking together, proud of playing for each other, and I'd also like to say thanks to Freedom for a really competitive game that still stayed clean and friendly. We play them again soon, and we're looking forward to taking them on at home, up the Pride.
Unlucky with that then, Tom. Should have been a point each. Let's be hopeful for improved performance next time round.
Maritime Radio Sport.
And listen out for next week's update and hopefully the confirmed details for that semi-final with Charlton Invicta.
Ted, what are your thoughts on both of those sides?
Well, I hope perhaps the Romans could lend us one of their new players for the team. It was hat-tricks when they come on, was that? They were saying against the team that's top of the division. No, look, both sides are doing fantastically well, weren't they? I mean, after slow starts, as both of them have mentioned, they've really become very competitive and really and truthfully, the Romans look like they're the side to beat in their division, and the Pride are not far off in their league neither. So fantastic to see and hear that they're doing so well, and long may it continue.
Jeff Burnage filed a report for Maritime Radio following the Millwall Lionesses under-18s loss on penalties against Ascot United ladies when the first team game was postponed. Let's hear from Jeff now.
House on Maritime Radio. So Millwall Lionesses fixture was postponed the other day, but their under-18 team hosted Ascot under-18s at St Paul's Sports Ground in Rotherhithe on Saturday in the semi-final of the JPL League Cup. Jeff Burnage was there to pick up the story.
With Millwall Lionesses' league visit to Enfield Town postponed on Sunday due to a waterlogged pitch, attention turned to the highly successful under-18 side coached by Ted Jones and Lee Williams. This was the first of two semi-finals they have reached this season, this one being in the Junior Premier League Women's League Cup. Sadly, they went down 5-4 on penalties to an excellent Ascot United side at St Paul's Sports Ground after a tight 1-1 draw. Grant Tabaraga, known as Kaila, had equalised for the Lionesses on 70 minutes, a goal which had changed the game, which up until then Ascot had looked comfortably like winning. After that, Millwall pressed for a winner, with the defence led by keeper Victoria Zmitarek and faultless centre-back Molly Self never looking like conceding a goal after that. Without top scorer and centre-forward Kiana Dillon Bent, injured in training on Wednesday, and fellow striker Clemmy Young, unavailable, it fell to Maya Barthelemy to lead the line against a strong Ascot United defence, but it was our own defender, Ruby Dythe, who came closest to a winner with a powerful header just over the bar from a corner kick. Losing on penalties was a blow and an opportunity miss, but they continue their JPL League campaign at home to Crystal Palace this Saturday, and that will be followed by their Capital Women's Junior Cup semi-final against South London Laces on the following Sunday. Laces are led by M. Hill, a former Lionesses academy coach, and that will make an interesting reunion for her. Lionesses' first team returned to Princes Park, Dartford on Sunday, scene of their last-minute defeat in the League Cup against Dartford last month. League leaders Dartford will be a tough game, and they have since reached the final of the League Cup with a great 1-0 victory over Dulwich Hamlet at Champion Hill.
And we'll hear next week about the Lionesses' visit to Dartford, and the following week we'll also follow up on the Lionesses Under-18s Capital Cup semi-final.
Pat, any thoughts on the news from Jeff?
Nice to see that the Under-18s are playing really well. Shame they lost their semi-final on penalties. The older women have not been faring as well. I know they've lost their last couple of games against Wimbledon and Saltdean. There's not much else you can really say because I don't follow the under-18s. It's just nice to know they're doing well. But on Dockers Day, which is against West Bromwich Albion, the history of the Lionesses will be actually featured in the club. There'll be photos up from back to 1973, and that'll be quite interesting. And we'll try and get some of those in the programme as well for people to look at.
Fantastic. Now then, panel, Millwall host Birmingham City on Saturday for Neil Harris's second home game in charge since his return. We'll start with you, Pat. Can I get a prediction?
Well, I'll be shocked if anyone predicts a loss. I mean, although I thought we was going to walk Sheffield Wednesday, Birmingham are matching the same position, but we can't we can't afford to say we're going to lose, even just to say it. So I'm going to go 2-0 win.
Ted?
I sort of echo a bit what Pat was saying there. Birmingham are a funny side that of late. They're sort of coming together, but then they falter again, if you know what I mean. I think they drew the other night, didn't they, Birmingham? But I'm confident with Millwall, and I'll get more and more confident with them at home. This is a massive game because Birmingham are right next to us, so it would be a huge game to win. And I just can't see them losing it. But I've got a little feeling it's going to be tighter than what Pat said. And I think I might just go with Barry's prediction. I think I'll go with 2-1 to the Lions.
Fantastic. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I think Pat and Ted have summed it all up. This game is going to be one of 10 massive games for the Lions. And I can't say that I'll go with a massive win. Like Ted said, I think it's going to be a single goal. So Ted and Barry have got 2-1, so I'll go 1-0.
Fantastic. Yeah, I agree with all of you, and I agree with Barry as well. It's a must-win game. I think we will win it. I'm going to go 2-1 as well. And I think actually the good omen that Barry brought us earlier, that we haven't lost on Jimmy's Day yet. So hopefully that can continue as well. And saying that, I'm going to go over 2-1 win. We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany Manxlow talking about the Millwall Community Trust and how you can sponsor them.
The Millwall Community Trust, something that I, Bethany Manxlow, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985, works to provide sporting, education, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability issues. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. They have sponsorship opportunities to support this work. Email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That is email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. Please help if you can.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me are the Non-Lights Talking team of Pat, Dave and Ted. The Millwall Community Trust are a fantastic organisation. As you just heard there, they do so much hard work in our community. So if you can sponsor them, that'd be great. Fitting in with that ad then, our next guest is a familiar voice on the show, and the last home game against Watford was a massive game for him and his team. It's the CEO of our amazing Millwall Community Trust, Sean Daly. Hello, Sean, how are you?
Good evening, Miles. Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good evening, Sean.
Good evening, all. How are you?
Evening, Sean. All good here, thanks, mate.
Excellent.
Well, welcome back to the show, Sean. Before I hand you over to the team, it was great to see and chat with you on Saturday at the Trust's annual Community Day. How did it all go?
Yeah, really good. The result was good for Millwall because, again, we haven't lost on Community Day. But it was just a great day to showcase what we've done. Loads of participants were involved. We had a great job centre where a few young people ended up getting jobs. It was just a great day for everyone taking part. So I'd like to thank you for all your support for us.
Hello, Sean. It's Pat here.
Hi, Pat.
All right. A number of organisations were all awarded with a Community Contribution Award at half-time last Saturday. These were presented by Millwall's chairman, John Berylson. Just how important to not only the Trust but the Millwall community are these organisations?
Yeah, it's a thing that we've discussed at the Trust for a long time. We work in partnership with organisations. We don't do things alone because the more partners you've got, the stronger you are. And also that stops everyone competing and doing the same thing in an area. So we link up with a lot of people, like Lewisham College, Active Communities, the Job Centre. And it was important to recognise their support for the Trust as well. So, Community Days is a great opportunity for us to bring our partners in and say, listen, thank you very much for everything you're doing. Here's a token of our thanks, and then just a little trophy for it. So the four organisations were Lewisham College, because we run our post-16, our apprenticeships for it. Youth First, because we've just managed to secure the Riverside development, which is going to be a youth club in partnership with them. Active Communities, we do a lot of work with Active Community in Southwark around crime, youth offending. And the last one was, no, you got me now on the last one. Sorry, the job centre. It was a job centre. So it's to thank them as well. But it's a great opportunity for us to thank and reward them for their support. Some of them were shocked. But we say that's how much we respect the partnership. And they loved it. They saw, all the young people, some of the people that they work with going around the pitch at half time. So it's very important for us to work in partnership and then to recognise that partnership as they would recognise us.
Brilliant.
Evening, Sean. Dave here.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, mate. One of the sponsors of our monthly podcast, Dean Wilson, his wife is fundraising for the Lions Food Hub and the Millwall Community Trust. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, Karen came to me last month. I think it was around when we put the health bus down at the game, and she just came over to me. And some of the things the health bus were asking fans about were things like weight, how their health is, and around mental health. And Karen came to me and said, look, I want to do something around mental health and promote mental health and the work you do. And, mental health then goes into like the food hub and people struggling because of the cost of living crisis, etc. And I've come up with an idea of doing 10,000 steps a day. What do you think? And I just said, great. You've got an opportunity there at the training ground to walk round every day, take the players with you, and an opportunity to just showcase mental health and what to do around it. Just go for a walk, have a talk with someone and talk to somebody about it. So she started the day before Community Day. I wanted her to start on Community Day, but she started the day before. And then she walked around the pitch at half time. And that's the idea of it, is that she wants to bring awareness of mental health in the area. And she thought a great way of doing it is 10,000 steps a day. And she'll do that from the first of the month right to the last day of the month. And the last day of the month, we hope she's going to walk from St Paul's to the Den, and we might get a few people to join in with her, like the Romans and the Lionesses, and then maybe some school children or something.
I look forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic, Sean.
Yeah, that's not me. That's Karen. Karen's like that all the time.
Good luck, Karen. Good luck with.
Yeah, she's lovely. She supports everything, and she supports our work by she arranges for the players to come out to our stuff, and she's very supportive of the trust, and she's an ambassador for the food hub.
Well, just talking about it's making my legs ache, Sean. There you go. Sean, is the goalkeepers' evening now organised, and can you tell us about that? And have you got anything else to tell the listeners to keep their eyes out for?
Yeah, I've been trying to organise the goalkeepers night for a few months now. It's trying to get them all on the same day. So we're hoping to do it at the end of this month. It's going to be at Harry's Bar. I've just got to nail down the day now, because I think a few people can't do the date we've got. But the people we're looking to bring in will be Brian Horn, Brian King, Nicky Johns, and David Ford. And it's going to be up at Harry's Bar, and it's just going to be an evening with the players and them talking about, reminiscing about, how they played for Millwall and different things around the club, really. So we're looking for that at the end of the month.
And they're all quiet, them people, aren't they? Them four.
Oh yeah, that's why I can't get them to tie up for the right date. You won't be able to get a word in edgeways. Once Horny gets the mic, you won't be able to.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So. But we want to call it, Millwall's number ones. And so I'm just trying to get the date. I did have a date in my head today, but I think it's changed again. But we're looking at the end of the month. And I want to try and do a few more before the end of the year. And we don't do it to raise money. The money we do raise will go we went to a food hub, or it will go into the community trust. But it's more about opportunities for fans to meet players and for us to get our name out there, really. That's why I'm doing them, really. But I'm going to do some at the end of the year. So if you've got any ideas of who you think I could get, let me know.
Ooh.
But yeah, they're brilliant evenings, mate. So we'll have a think about it and see if we can get some more. It'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to do the 80s nights, the lads that got us into the old League One, people like Hurlock and Sheringham and people like that. I think that might be a bit of hard work.
Yeah. We should get Neil and Paul Moody together again because they're out of the pitch.
Well, Neil did a great one for us over at the London Club last year, which went down brilliant.
That was absolutely magnificent, Neil's evening.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do one with Neil again. I mean, I saw him 2 weeks ago and I thanked him again for that support. And I'd love to do one where maybe I might do it at the end of the season or something.
Sean, thank you very much. Before you go, can we get a prediction for Jimmy's date on Saturday against Birmingham?
I agree with all of them. It's going to be a tight game. And I do believe these are the games that Millwall need to win. So I think it's going to be really close. I think it's either going to be 1-0 or it's going to be 2-1. I think it's going to be a very close game. Can I go with two predictions?
If you want.
You have.
Just trying to cover all my bases, isn't I? But no, I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think the atmosphere of the Den will pull the lads through.
Yeah, definitely. Sean, thank you very much for coming on. We look forward to us on the horizon for the MCT.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Sean.
Cheers. Thanks, Sean.
We'll take a break there and listen to Harvey Brown talking about the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the SE16 bar at Coldblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Noel Access talking team of Pat, Dave and Ted. Well, we asked Kelly Webster from the Lions Food Hub the wants for this week, and she said cereal, tinned meat, tinned veg, shower gel and sanitary products mainly. And thank you very much if you can donate any of those items. We're all looking forward to when Saturday comes, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and others who listen.
Millwall Football Club's first team and training ground operations manager, Karen Wilson, is fundraising for Millwall Community Trust to raise crucial funds for both MCT and Lions Food Hub. Karen has explained the reason behind the fundraising on her Just Giving page, where you can contribute if you can. Just insert Just Giving Karen Wilson 10,000 steps into your browser to find the page. A repeat, just insert in your browser, Just Giving Karen Wilson 10,000 steps, and you should find it.
Millwall Lionesses head to Prince's Park, Dartford on Sunday in search of 3 points as they take on Dartford women in what will be a very interesting league game, having been edged out of the League Cup by the Darts at home recently. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Head down there and give the Lionesses some much-needed and deserved support.
Next week, young Myles again. You're in the hot seat with the team of the delightful Debbie, the inimitable Stan. I don't even know what that means, but it's Stan. And A.N. Other, whoever he is, he's a new one to our team. Plus a couple of guests as usual. So please tune in.
I think that's meant to say another.
And A.N. Other, yeah. Oh dear, me and my reading. I wish I'd done more at school.
Don't forget you'll be able to listen to the Noel Access talking team bring reports from our games, both home and away, for both the Lions, Lionesses, Romans, Pride, and also updates on Millwall Community Matters 2 on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM, or on their website. Additionally, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, and Twitter, or X, social media, and all popular podcast sites. Thanks and good night, Pat.
Good night. And don't forget to buy your programme on Saturday.
I won't. Mine dropped to the puddle last week, so I can't actually read it at the minute. Thanks and good night, Dave.
That's good night from me. Get down to the Den on Saturday and make sure the Lions go on to a win.
Thanks. Good night, Ted.
Good night, all, and here's to another victory under Neil on Saturday.
Let's hope so. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night, and many thanks for listening to the No One Likes Us Talking team.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.